It's freaking Tuesday.
Good afternoon, good fellas, and we're back with another episode of Ask Tony Tuesday.
If you haven't got a clue, Tony's got the answer for you.
How are you, Tony?
Good. I'm surprised you're here today.
Why?
Well, yesterday was your birthday. I figured you were out partying all night long. Big one, huh?
Yep, the big 21.
Congratulations.
We're not going to talk about anything that happened.
Yeah, I wouldn't. Yes.
You know the saying, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas?
Yes, gotcha.
It's that, but we're not in Vegas. First question of the day for you. Our questions are really good today.
Okay, I'm ready.
What are some red flags to avoid when shopping for a stone fabricator?
If you go anywhere but here, that's red flag number one. Seriously, you want to make sure that, I would always give, some references. There's good shops and there's a lot of bad shops. I would say price it out, get some pricing. If usually everybody's pretty close in price. If somebody's really cheap, that's a red flag. There's a lot of ways to do things cheaper. None of them make them better. So references are number one. Ask around. We'll give you as many references as you want. And it won't be my brother or my neighbor. It'll be real references of jobs we've done. Right. The other thing is, make sure your fabricator has inventory. Especially if we always say, you come in here, you pick a slab, you get the slab that you chose. If your fabricator doesn't have stock and he has to send you to a wholesaler, you're going to choose a slab there, but you're not necessarily going to get that slab.
Right.
I was in wholesale for a long time. What happens is you go down there, you look at the first slab, they put your name on it. But if another fabricator needs that slab before you need your slab, they're getting the one you looked at, you're getting the one behind that or the one behind that, and so on. So you're not always going to get the slab you picked. So, and you also know if, a fabricator has a big inventory, they're going to be around in a while. If you go to a fabricator and he sends you somewhere, he sends you to a shop that doesn't even have the same name, then he's not even a shop.
Yeah.
There's a lot of those middleman kind of guys, and there's good reputable shops, and then there's guys that kind of just try to make a living in this business, but aren't really shouldn't be in this business. So you want to get references. Number one, you want to go to the facility, make sure it's a legitimate facility. The name outside on the front of the building should be the name you see everywhere. The person going to do your template should be an employee of the company. Mm-hmm. The people that do the installation should be employees of the company.
Yeah.
Their fabrication should be there at the company you visited and picked the slabs. Yeah. And that is a reputable company. If they've got you going 5 different places to look at things, and the showroom's here, the fabrication shop's here, you got to go here, probably not a good idea. Probably not a reputable place. But again, most importantly, get references.
Yeah.
It's hard to hide if you're not doing things right. If you're doing things right, everything's right there. You come here, you see everything.
Yep.
We do everything in-house. We do the template, fabrication, installation, everything's here. We'll walk you through the whole place. Mm-hmm. That's what you want to see. And like you said, get references. The good thing is, we worked hard to get a reputation. It takes time to build a reputation. But now we don't, if we did somebody's job, chances are we're doing their neighbors, we're doing their cousins, we're doing the parents, their sisters. We're doing other jobs after that because we worked hard to build our reputation. Yeah. That's what you're looking for when you choose a shop.
Yeah. And I'd like to add,
mm-hmm.
If you go somewhere and they're kind of beating around the bush about questions, that would be another red flag. Mm-hmm. You want a stone fabricator to be able to educate you and give you the right information on what you're buying.
Right.
And you want them to be able to answer all the questions you have because it's going to help you in making a decision for what you would like to put in your kitchen or bathroom or whatever project you're doing. So make sure you just go to a place where they're really going to help you and inform you on what's actually happening and what you're getting, and so that you're not
with
left
no
in
hidden
the-
costs. I mean, when you see, when we do an estimate, I mean, we have all the costs broken down for everybody. There's, no, oh, listen, we got to drill 3 holes and we're going to charge you now. No, everything is up front. There's no hidden costs, no hidden fees, no stupid fees for inside radius corners or whatever. We tell you exactly what it's going to be before we do anything.
Right. Yep. Second question of the day.
Okay.
Another good one. Are you ready for this?
Yeah.
How are fiberglass rods set into stone?
Okay. Well, first of all, the reason for fiberglass rods is you want to strengthen the stone. So anything that has a lot of movement, a lot of variation, a lot of quartz, a lot of mica, tends to be a little weaker. And most of the time when you do it, you'll do it where there's a cutout. You'll do it by a sink cutout because you want it to stay together. Not so much when it's in, but for transporting, handling and transporting. So what we do is we flip the piece over, we take our saw blade and we cut a couple grooves in there. And then we have this, sometimes it's metal rods. Most of the time now we use fiberglass rods. So the fiberglass rod goes into that channel that we did with the saw blade. We fill that with a 2-part epoxy. It hardens. Now, we gave it extra strength. We put that fiberglass or metal rod in there to strengthen the stone, so everything stays together in handling.
Okay.
So that's what we do. We flip the piece over. We put in the grooves from the saw blade, usually a width of 2 saw blade widths, and then we sink in the fiberglass rod, 2-part epoxy. It hardens. We grind it all down nice and smooth, and then we flip it back over to finish.
Oh, I didn't know it was that easy.
Yeah, that's it. And it's another thing that a lot of times guys will skip because it's nobody's going to see it, nobody will know. You'll know if it breaks.
Right.
You know what I mean? So again, a lot of ways we don't skip those. We don't take chances. That's one of the things when you skip, somebody can get hurt. Because somebody's carrying that in and it has a natural fault in there and it breaks, you're probably damaging somebody's house, somebody's cabinetry, somebody's floor, possibly somebody's foot or leg.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
These are things you don't want to skimp on. And fiberglass rod costs money. Time, the guys doing it in the shop costs money. But those are the important steps that you'd have to take in order to do the job correctly.
Yeah.
And like I said, we're probably never the cheapest. It was never our goal to be the cheapest, but you are going to get the right job every time here.
Yep.
And that's to me the most important.
Yeah, it definitely is. Yeah. And we just did some fiberglass rodding last week, so
yeah, we pretty much do it all the time. Every time there's a sink cutout, generally there's fiberglass rodding there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, I see them working on it.
Yeah,
So I'll put in a little thing so you guys can see what it looks like. Those are all the questions I have for you today.
Those are good ones.
They definitely were. I thought so because I had been wondering about the fiberglass for so long. And how it gets put in, if you have to cut it, if it's like, I didn't know.
Because it's a big roll. I forget how many yards are on a roll. But, we cut it to length. And listen, sometimes, depending on the stone, I mean, we did a job, it was a black magma granite. It had a lot, it was beautiful, but it had a lot of mica. A lot of mica. And these people, they wanted these big overhangs. I mean, some were like 20-inch overhangs. Instead of fiberglass rodding, we actually sunk 1/2-inch rebar that they used for concrete. We sunk 1/2-inch rebar in there and did that because we had to make sure that it not only stayed together for us to put it in, but with those big overhangs, we didn't want somebody leaning on it and have it break. Yeah. So 1/2-inch rebar was sunk in there. Like the stone wasn't heavy enough.
Yeah.
We're going to sink 1/2-inch rebar in there. But we did the job, I don't know, 2, maybe 3 years ago. No issues.
Nice.
Because you do it right. You know, First of all, it's it's a hard material to work with. We knew what we had to do. We certainly wanted the customer to be happy. We certainly wanted it to last, and we certainly didn't want anybody to get hurt.
Yeah.
So, doing it right the first time is the way to go. And you do whatever needs to be done in order to do it right.
Yeah, you have to.
Yeah.
Especially because of the injuries.
Yeah,
that you can
yeah. That's a big one.
Damage is one thing, but
Right.
people being injured, you can't really.
Cabinetry can be replaced. Stone can be replaced. Flooring can be replaced. But somebody loses a foot or a leg or something like that, or a life. That's something we don't mess around with.
Yeah, not replaceable.
No.
Those are all the questions I have for you
Okay,
today.
now you go take a nap.
Yeah. Thank you for answering our questions
My
as
pleasure.
always.
Absolutely.
We will be back again next week with another episode, so stay tuned. We hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your week and happy Tuesday. See you later.
You're gonna kick the phone. Marks all over the countertop.
Back to their regular programming.
This episode is sponsored by